I started my evening commute in traffic on Barham just before 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. As I idled in my lane several car lengths back from a red light, the woman in the passenger seat of the vehicle next to me leaned out of her window and said, "You have a really strong aura." I want to give you a reading. Pull over. So I did. I turned left on Cahuenga and parked in a small lot at a gas station. The other vehicle followed, and as soon as this woman climbed into my car, she took my hands and she began to read my palms. "A long time ago, before Christ, you were a very powerful priestess." I tried to picture it, like me, but like remixed with like Shaka Khan, with Erykah Badu, and just a pinch of Lauryn Hill, in a comfortable Mrs. Roper caftan. Yes, this feels entirely possible and authentic. Someone was jealous of your ability. They stole a chunk of your hair and they buried it in the ground. And by doing this, they cursed you 9 different ways, 9 different times, over 9 different lifetimes. She then confirmed with me that I have had pain in my solar plexus. How could she know that I had my gallbladder removed from right here in 2009? Then she said that I often felt pressure on my left shoulder right again. It's an old injury that I sometimes aggravate when I don't warm up before I work out. This isn't some kind of injury. This pressure you feel is because something's blocking you from finding your peace and prosperity in this lifetime. Did you ever play with a Ouija board when you were younger? I admit to her that I dabbled in high school, but I didn't tell her about the freaky incident that made me decide to stop dabbling. I'll tell you though. Early in my junior year of high school, I transferred to public school, and I went to my first full-blown high school party. It was John Hughes epic. The hosts lived near the country club in a fancy old neighborhood in a fancy brick house, and it was packed with at least one of everything from the 80s high school movie canon. There was an ice-cold keg, an entire trash can of assorted alcohols and mixers called Jungle Juice, plus cigarettes, freely shared joints, and a fine dusting of cocaine, all 3 of which I just said no to. But as I downed my second red solo cup of Jungle Juice, Jackie, who I came to the party with, nudged me and Kelly, who had driven us both. Jackie reached into her boho tote bag and pulled out a Ouija board. "You guys want to play?" No, we were in a phase, okay? It was totally like not unusual for Jackie to have a Ouija board on her person at all times. The party music receded in volume as we made our way upstairs and intruded on multiple makeout sessions, finally slipping past a patinaed roll-top trunk and into a dark, unoccupied bedroom with one candle scrounged from a guest bathroom. We settled on the floor, ready to speak with the dead, and it didn't take long before our requests were answered. The planchette barely hit the board before it started circling, slowly and jerkily. This was totally like not what our usual paranormal goofing off looked like. My sweaty, nervous fingers could not make purchase. I could clearly see candlelight between Jackie's fingertips and the white plastic. Kelly's hands were fully occupied, taking her scrunchie off her wrist and pulling her hair into a stressed ponytail while mumbling, "Holy shit, is someone there?" The night careened from John Hughes to John Carpenter as the planchette slid firmly to the upper left corner of the board. "Yes." Are you spirit?" Jackie asked. "Yes." I whispered, "Will you tell us your name?" The planchette moved emphatically, scraping and squeaking across the board. I wanted to touch it, to feel of the force that seemed to be moving it. But it skittered across the board of its own accord faster than Jackie, Kelly, or I could keep up with. No one had their fingers on it for very long. So no one could have been pushing it as it spelled out a name. Rebecca. It went on to point 3 times at the upper right corner. No, no, no. Then it settled at the bottom of the board. Goodbye. I had a thought and I blurted it out. Did you die in this house? No. Where did you die? Scraping? Squeaking? Green. We didn't know what that meant, and we argued over what to ask next. I felt cold. Kelly took my hand. Hers was clammy. Jackie clutched her bag to her chest. After a moment of reassuring eye contact, we all reached for the planchette again, and it took off. No, 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 goodbye. No, 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 goodbye. My stomach was flopping like a suicidal goldfish on a shag carpet. Kelly transfixed, but a few frightened tears rolled down her cheeks. Then she whispered, Rebecca, how did you die? M-U-R-D-E-R. Squeaking, scraping, green, no, 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 goodbye. Rebecca? Rebecca, where are you now? Fucking Kelly. Why would you ask that? The planchette scraped. I hoped Rebecca would answer heaven, but I just knew she was going to answer hell. I pulled my fingers away in utter dread as the planchette came to stop on the final letter of the word outside. There was a sudden, loud thump in the hall. The candle went out. With a puff of her anxious breath, Jackie effectively hung up on the dead. This is too fucking much, she cried, stuffing the Ouija board back in her tote bag. She fled the room, Kelly whimpering on her heels. It took me a moment to move. By the time I stepped out into the hall, I was alone. And that's when I saw it. The antique trunk that we passed on the way in was now pushed out from the wall, blocking my way towards the staircase. I would have to walk around it. As I got closer, I noticed the lid was ajar. As I stepped around it to the front side, I could clearly see a woman's arm dangling out of the trunk. It was wrapped in a sleeve of dark, jewel-colored raw silk. Green. I hadn't smoked weed or sampled any coke. 2 red solo cups of jungle juice could not have produced any hallucination as clear, realistic, and chilling as this. I ran downstairs insisting that Kelly and Jackie come witness proof that we had contacted the spirit of a woman who was murdered in a green silk gown and stuffed in a haunted trunk that now resided in the upstairs hall. Trembling, we climbed back up the stairs. The trunk was back against the wall, closed and locked, no green silk. I wish you hadn't touched that Ouija board. We were back in my car now in the gas station in the parking lot of Cahuenga. My rush hour reading is continuing. I never told her a word of that story, but it seemed like this woman knew all about it. You allowed an entity to come through, and it has brought this curse to you in this lifetime. This is what's blocking you from your peace and prosperity. You're supposed to have 9 angels. Everyone has 9 angels at birth protecting them. 4 of yours are missing. That doesn't sound healthy. I also thought, could it be possible that my missing angels are Shaka Khan, Erica Bond, and Mrs. Rowe? She wanted me to come with her immediately to her sister's house in Silver Lake. There, she wanted to give me 9 candles and a bar of amethyst crystal soap so that I could cleanse myself of the curse while she took 9 days to banish the entity from the Ouija board and free me to find my peace and prosperity in this, my 9th lifetime. And it's not about money. For me, it's about helping you, she said. But it'll cost you $250. Now, according to this Cahuenga clairvoyant, that was a lot of cosmic karmic retribution coming down on my head across 9 lifetimes. $250 seemed like a really good deal to do. And I love candles and soap, which I probably get to keep afterwards. And I really, really wanted to imagine myself as this reincarnated neo-soul high priestess in a, 70s sitcom clothing. She got so much right. My gallbladder surgery, my shoulder injury, even my use of the Ouija board, when I withheld every detail from her. But for $250, she at least could have confirmed for me that the evil entity my friends and I had released from the netherworld at a high school party in 1998 was named Rebecca. I took her business card and I told her I'd think about it. Thanks.